Welcome to Konoha Crush, a clandestine effort to exhaustively research and document events occurring in and around the village hidden in the leaves. I'm Vale.
I'm Gwen. Hi.
Hi! Oh my god,
Oh
it's
my
podcast
god.
time.
We're
Episode 40.
episode 40. This is a big one.
It's well, it's another one. I mean, it's a bigger number of episodes than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
And
Every increment of 10, I am going to say that, by the way.
okay, all right, yeah, we're gonna get to like 130 or some shit. That's not a number anybody cares about, but you're gonna be like, it's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Wow.
Get fucking ready. Hold on to your goddamn ass, everybody. It's a big one.
Everyone hold on to the ass you all share. We're gonna... It's a big one.
It's a big one. Yeah, for $50 on the Patreon, you get to use the ass for a week every month. But yeah, how has it been? How was your week? How I was about to say it's been a while since we recorded. It's been a week. It's been the normal amount. But how is that? How is that normal amount of time since we last recorded been going for you?
It's been okay. The only thing of note that happened was I finally watched another couple episodes of Chainsaw Man.
Oh, me too. Wow.
Wow, what a coincidence. I didn't know this beforehand at all.
Wow, really? Were you? Oh my god, were you there when I was watching those episodes of Chainsaw Man?
Yeah.
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 Do you want to watch an episode of Chainsaw Man after this? I want to. I haven't seen the newest one yet. We're like still stuck on to like delayed. Like our Chainsaw Man takes are like going to be delayed by like about 2 weeks. Because we haven't watched the new ones on the day it came out like for the podcast yet.
Yeah, getting ready to record the podcast is a lot of fucking work.
Right, and you don't want to like be like you don't want your brain to be like too locked in to like one specific thing that you like want to talk about beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Right, like you want to keep the vibes in balance.
Yeah. Well, when that one specific thing isn't Naruto.
Yeah, right. That's what I meant, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. I don't know that I have a whole lot to say. Like, I wish the show looked better.
yeah, it's weird, right? Because it doesn't look bad, right? I mean, like I really like a lot of how episode 3 looks. I really like Hironori Tanaka's work, like I suspected I would, right? I think that his specific eye for detail and like motion was like, and like the like how that applies to the sort of like the gory texture of the show. Like I think it really works at some points. I think he's like a pretty good fit, even if like even if the ultimate like it like stylistic goals of the show will wind up being kind of restrained. But it also is like you want it to be a little crazier, right? Like I think.
Yeah, right. Like I just wish it was a messier show. I just wish, I wish the show had like, how do I want to phrase this?
I wish it felt like people were fucking around a little bit more.
Yeah, right. I wish, I wish the show was like less concerned with like being well put together.
Right. Like there's a very like I mean like there's a whole article you can read on the Sakugaburo blog that will like get into this better than I can, but it talks about how like there was a goal from the director. Was it? Hold on. God damn it! It's Ryo Nakayama, right? You don't know this.
I don't know this. You can just say the director.
Well, I had to make sure I wasn't saying the wrong fucking name. It would be really embarrassing.
Yeah.
So the director Ryu Nakayama, like is like a fan of the original work, and like going by like Fujimoto's various like film influences, he had like a goal of like shooting for a sort of style of like cinematic realism, and like that article goes into like the specific ways that it's achieved, like the way that it is like there are some like conscious choices being made, even if they aren't really the choices that a lot of us might want. And I think that's an interesting read if you want to learn more about that. But it does not really change the fact that it's like, yeah, I don't know. I wish it was a little sillier. I wish it was a little like. I wasn't really looking for like grounded as like one of the main words. I chose for like how the show looked.
Yeah.
Like I wish it was a show where I could like expect that I would like open up an episode and just see something fucking like I don't know, like really out there, right? Like I mean the ideal world that we'll never live in is like imagine if fucking like instead of being like cruelly lambasted, Naruto Shippuden episode 167 was like a beloved masterpiece, and then we got to have episodes like that on Chainsaw Man. But like that's not fucking happening. That's a little preview of some shit I'll talk about like way later in their fucking run of our podcast, I guess. But like it's just gone so far in that direction that it's like I don't know. Like I wish it was more. I am excited to see the latest episode because like I've heard good things, and I really like Tatsuya Yoshihara. I'm really excited to see what he does in that context. And so like if that's good, I guess next week I'll have something like nicer to say about the show. But like,
yeah,
sorry, what were we
no.
saying?
I was just saying like, and they're like doing a thing where like the ED is different for like every fucking episode, right?
Yeah. Like that was another thing the article touches on, where like there is sort of that like attempt to like have that kind of like eclectic and like kind of out there creative vision applied to like various different things. Like the ED of the fourth episode, which I haven't seen it, but I have seen the ED is by Cole Owl, which is like an independent animator I really like.
See, like, imagine if that, but instead of the ED being different every fucking episode, it was just like every once in a while there would just be like a cut in the anime that was just fucking unhinged.
Yeah, I mean we could have both maybe, right?
Right.
But like
sure.
At the same time, it's like, well, it's not like I'm necessarily like hurting for like shows this season that are like more out there in their like ambitions, right? Like fucking Mob is airing this season again. I need to get caught back up on that, but like it's fucking Mob. It's like everybody knows what that show's like by this point.
Yeah.
Like
you don't need to hear us talk about Mob.
Like Do It Yourself is not like a like completely like crazy out there show, but it's a show that has like a very like strong sense of like a very specific aesthetic it's going for. Like Bocchi the Rock is airing, and that's just got like this great like really energetic, really like willing to just like really vary the style of animation it's using a lot of like really fun ways. But Bocchi the Rock is like fascinating because it winds up being an interesting comparison point, right? Because a lot of the Chainsaw Man backgrounds are very like kind of like understated and trying to look real, and they're like kind of like either kind of muddy in terms of the colors chosen, right?
Yeah.
And Bocchi the Rock is like there's more colors in the background, but like there's an interesting part where, like a lot of them just are like very like they have this real like, oh, this is like a photograph with a filter on it, like kind of feeling about them, right? And it just like really leans into like planting these like much more like cartoony characters and like situating them in those environments in some ways I think are like really like visually interesting, right?
Totally.
It's weird. It's not like I'm like hurting for shows that I think look really good this season. It's just like Chainsaw Man is sort of there are expectations that you could build up about that because of how like
because it's fucking Chainsaw Man, right? Like
yeah,
we're not hurting for like more like crazy looking anime this fucking season, but like fucking Chainsaw Man, we're only gonna get one of those.
I mean, well, yeah, they're gonna make more seasons of it, definitely, right? Like,
right.
But it's like 12 episodes long or some shit. It's gonna cover like maybe a fourth of it. I don't know.
Yeah, the like opening suggests like it's gonna be like mainly up until like fucking Katana Man or whatever, right? But yeah, it's fucking Chainsaw Man, right? Like
Yeah. Is there more we want to say about like stuff we were watching this week, or did we just kind of like?
I mean, like not really. Like I've just been keeping up with like the bad anime that I watch.
Okay, well, that's fine too. Gundam's still really fun. There's like a sicko like twink in there now.
Yeah,
that's great.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no. The true surprise about the Gundam is like not that like, oh yeah, I committed to having a girl protagonist and she's fun, but the part where having a girl protagonist meant that there's like so much room to have like shitty boys you love also at the same time.
Yeah,
it's magical.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think that's the stuff I'm like. Right. I felt like I had anything to say about this week. We can move into Naruto,
Woohoo!
Which we'll see how much we have to say about it this week.
Episode 115, Your Opponent is Me. The boys notice there haven't been any traps in a while, and figure the sound guys are underestimating them. Shikamaru approaches them disguised as Jirobo, but gets found out when he doesn't act quite right. Kidomaru hands off Sasuke, and stays to fight the boys, wrapping them all up in webs. Naruto can't cut through the spider string, and Kidomaru brags about how it's super strong and cut-proof, while Neji uses the Byakugan to see all the chakra flowing through it. Kidomaru whips out a grosser-colored spider slime that hardens into little sickles, and starts hugging them at the wrapped-up Naruto clones one by one. But none of the captured Narutos were the real one, giving Neji enough time to figure out how to cut the threads with the gentle fist. Neji realizes he's the only one capable of fighting this guy and tells the others to run on ahead. Yeah, I got hit by the hellfire wall.
Right, so yeah, like all the boys are like jumping through the forest. They're like, oh shit, they haven't tried to like play any fucking pranks on us or anything lately. They must think we all got slurped the hell up. So this gives us a great opportunity to pretend to be Jirobo, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of beautiful, right? That it immediately falls apart because Shikamaru shows up, this guy's Jirobo, and they're all just immediately very fucking mean to him. And he's like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know the appropriate way to like respond in this situation.
So it's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for being mean to me. I'll carry the Sasuke barrel right now. Thank you guys. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Jirobo? Get fucking spider attacked. It's just kind of beautiful that here we have this unit of guys who all like sort of hate each other's asses just enough that it makes them very hard to infiltrate. It's like, I know all the shit that pisses me off, so if you're not doing the thing that makes me annoyed, then like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But, Kidomaru takes upon himself to be like, okay, I'm just gonna like fucking hold everybody back. All of the Sound Force seem like individually confident that they could just like beat up this entire squad of children.
Mm-hmm. Which, to be fair,
yeah, like it is basically true, right? Like I mean, in both cases, like yeah, they could beat this whole squad of children, except for the one guy who happened to be able to like defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there just happens to be a guy here who can handle it. So they can all like break off into their little matchups, right?
Yeah.
But everybody does like a pretty bad job of like trying to stop him, and they keep like, oh, I bet he can't move in midair, and he's just like Spider-Manning around and moving in midair very easily. They're getting webbed up. It's a real embarrassing showing for all of them,
Yeah.
Like even Neji kind of gets caught by this initially, and then he gets all fucking cocooned up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Naruto has the best showing in this like early phase, right?
Yeah, right. Because he just like he just like holds back and lets the guy make assumptions,
Yeah, it's like honestly like very tactful.
Yeah, he gets like 6 clones caught in the web and just like waits it out and just like, okay, yeah, this guy thinks that he can play his fucking like sicko game of like murdering me one by one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let him fucking do that.
Right. Yeah, it's like which goes on for quite a while. It's like really
Yeah, it is a long part of this first part of the show. Yeah.
Like it's like it is like this in the comic also, right? Like it is like 7 pages that ultimately don't have any stakes because Naruto isn't there. But like it's like reasonably fun, I guess. The weirdest thing to me about this is like in the show here, whenever he hits one of Naruto's shadow clones, they seem to be made of some sort of orange spiky goop.
Yeah. Right. It looks like they drew a blood splatter, but they just forgot to color it red.
Right, it's like, oh, this is part of his clothing, right?
Yeah.
or like somebody drew like too much blood. They're like, okay, well, it's too late to like get all of this blood out of here, so we're gonna try and clean it up. But also, still, it's like weirdly spiky. Also, like it's got like fucking hooks and shit on it. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's not like the fucking orange goop is like a giveaway to Kidomaru that like he killed like a fake Naruto or anything, right? Like he has to wait for the fucking shadow clone poof to happen to be like, oh shit, that wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a really weird like it's just point of aesthetic strangeness here.
Yeah.
Naruto not being killed and then like waiting for him to be like, okay, now's my time to ambush him. Like it gives Neji enough time to like burst out of the cocoon and be like, oh, I realized that I'm the guy who can defeat this guy like easily. Which I feel like really just kind of like sort of like sets the template for this entire fight, which just kind of winds up being like a succession of back and forth, like these two fucking idiots being like, all right, I've perfectly countered your shit. You're fucking done for.
Yeah, but I mean that's beautiful.
It is beautiful in a way.
So sometimes that's all you need is for the two like idiots who think they can perfectly counter someone's shit.
Mm-hmm.
To just go back and forth.
Yeah, that's true. But did you have anything else you want to say about the first half of the episode?
No, not really. You just want to go ahead and move on? The boys are a little hesitant at first, citing the lack of a present Choji, but Neji reminds them about Iruka's speech at Hiruzen's funeral. He tells Naruto that Sasuke is in the dark right now, and that he's the only one who can save him. The boys head out, and Neji covers their escape. Kidomaru figures out how Neji is cutting his web, and binds Neji up so he can't use his hands. But Neji can emit chakra from his whole body and breaks out before rushing him down and standing up for 8 trigrams, 64 palms.
But yes, like you said, Neji has declared that it's his fight, and we all know that it's going to be Neji's fight because, again, like, he is the only guy who cannot be like instantly like stuck in webs and like get killed.
Yeah.
But like everybody's a little anxious, right? Like, Akamaru's like, Akamaru's like barking. He was like, yeah, I don't know. This guy like smells really strong. He's like the strongest guy we've seen yet. It's like fascinating to me, like, as something that keeps popping up in this like early part of Naruto, where like Akamaru is like the clearest like sense of like in-universe like power scaling we get a lot of the times, right? Like, he has the fucking like dog ability to like smell how strong he is, and that's how we can evaluate the comparative power levels of various characters.
Yeah, it's so fucking fun.
I wonder if the Naruto power scaling community is just like bemoaning that Kiba just stops fucking mattering at us after a certain point, so we don't get that anymore.
Yeah, probably.
The other part about it is like, this is the first set of episodes we've had where I really feel like we get that sense of like, oh, we just have like a lot of like flashbacks in here that are like, that just kind of like tangentially relevant at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like, then she's like, hey, Naruto, you remember that conversation at the Third Hokage's funeral that I wasn't there for? And then we just like play that whole scene back. And it's like sort of relevant, but it's not like really what the scene is about, right? Like, on some level, like, Neji knows he's like potentially like putting himself at risk to die, but like it is much more a moment about like, oh yeah, like, hey, Naruto, I'm your friend, I believe in you, you should believe in me, right? Like, this is what we've like, it's like an expression of like this element of Neji's character that like, I feel like it kind of slipped my mind, where like I'm going to circle back around to this at the end of the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not at the end of the episode, like, I mean, the end of this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
But like, he has really just become like the guy who believes in Naruto very specifically, in a way that's like fascinating to me, right? He's like, Naruto, your eyes are better than mine, right? Because like, Neji's like, he's the guy who's got the super eyes, but Naruto has like the ability to like see a hopeful future or whatever, and that's what has Neji so inspired. It's like, this dude was like just being a fucking tool to everybody, and now it's like a month later, and he is like making these fucking like bold speeches about how fucking awesome this 12-year-old he knows is.
It's because he lost to him in a fight.
Yeah. Maybe if like Rock Lee was able to beat Neji in a fight earlier, like, Neji would have become normal sooner.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. I still think Rock Lee could lay Neji the fuck out if he was really trying.
Mm-hmm. Like Guy has set the conditions for like, okay, here's like a fight with the guy that's like your friend. You have to not turn him into paste.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, it would be a hard fight just because, like, if they are going, like, no holds barred, right? Like, the gentle fist is so fucking dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, like,
I mean, the gentle fist is so fucking dangerous unless you're, like, a guy who, like, Neji has to fight for the episode of the show that his fights are in.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess even that, when it works pretty well. Getting ahead of ourselves, but, like...
Yeah, like, Neji only has to, like, get up and get, like, a couple decent hits in, right? Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I was fucking dead after that. Again, getting way ahead of ourselves. Sorry, but...
Yeah.
Sorry for spoiling that later in this episode we'll talk about Neji killing this guy.
But, like, Rock Lee could easily just, like, take a hit and turn Neji's head around 180 degrees.
Right, which I assume that's not the term that he's fighting Neji on, generally speaking.
Right.
Rock Lee doesn't strike me as like a neck snapping kind of guy.
No, but he could be. He'd be so good at it.
I guess he would be, yeah.
Right, that's the problem with the Hidden Leaf, is that like they're training all of their 12-year-olds how to fight, but like they're not teaching them how to do it efficiently.
All right, like, it's weird, right? Because they teach them jutsu, and they build up to teaching them the like killer moves, but they don't really like instill like a discipline in it. So it feels like they're just kind of like hoping eventually, like, oh yeah, Naruto like hits him with the Rasengan good enough to kill him, or Sasuke will hit him with the Chidori good enough to kill him, and that'll just be like they can sort it out at that point, right? They don't have to fucking like worry about having taken life until they've accidentally done so in like a combat situation.
Yeah, I wish Kakashi was just like, all right, Sasuke, here's how you use the Chidori, and here's where you, and here's how to do it to kill a person instantly. Here's where you want to aim. You want to go for. You want to go for like center chest area, just turn that heart into mush. Or the head. The head will really get a motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little easier to dodge, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guy's waiting for Rock Lee to turn 18 before he teaches him the like pull a person's heart out of their chest technique.
God, like he could just punch his heart out of their chest like right now if he just knew how to like apply himself.
Yeah, guy's just like, hey, Rock Lee, you know how like strong your fingers are? Just like
remember when you like reach into the ground and like pull up a fucking like tree root the size of your body?
Yeah. Okay, so here's what you do. The next time you go to like hit someone who you're cool with dying or whatever, instead of
just pull their fucking ribcage off or something, like
Rock Lee just pulls out someone's whole fucking skeleton.
Yeah.
There's just bones. There's just bones in one pile and miss the other. God. Rock Lee's gonna really regret not learning to pull someone's whole skeleton out technique here in a little bit.
Would it really work against him, or would it just not work at all? We'd just keep pulling.
Oh my god, like a fucking clown.
Oh my god. Fuck.
God.
Oh god. Oh my god, I gotta drink some water.
Yeah, I gotta take my shirt off. Where the fuck were we?
Where the fuck were we? I think we were talking. We were talking about like everybody like talking with Neji before they left, and we got like really off into fucking weeds about some other shit. But like basically, if we're getting back to what I think is like, yeah, okay. So the fucking the other three boys like jump off, right? Kidomaru like does like a big thing where he does like three big spikes that are attached to like one big web that he's shooting out, right? And Neji blocks it just like standing in the middle of the web, which is like, I mean, I don't know if you even need the gentle fist to do that at that point. But it works.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. The thing that like really struck me to watch this scene is like the way that the shot is framed. It really feels like Kidomaru is just like very precisely targeting the asses of the three boys who are running away.
Look, he works for Orochimaru.
I'm just putting the image in discussed images, so I'll remember to put it there. Yeah, you going to elaborate on that point?
I'm just saying it is an efficient target location.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody but that motherfucker Orochimaru is like brave enough to use it.
Okay, all right.
Everyone's afraid of like, oh, it's fucking sexual assault.
Okay. All right.
No, it's the base of the spine.
Mm-hmm.
It's an efficient way to take someone out.
Uh-huh.
That's what I like about Orochimaru. He's just like, yeah.
Is it?
Fucking, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I'm just like, I just feel like we were making these claims. We're forgetting about Kakashi's famous joke attack. It's not an unprecedented technique in the world of Naruto.
Fuck, you're right.
Ass. Yeah.
Unless. All right, pulls up my fucking like conspiracy board.
Okay.
Okay, so do we know that Kakashi isn't working for Orochimaru?
I think we know that. I think like maybe we could like fucking like I don't know, like, oh yeah, Kakashi was like giving Sasuke unsuccessful pep talks on purpose, but like I don't know that he needs to be, right? Like, he could just be kind of a guy. I feel like it's just better if he's a guy who's, like, in over his depth and, like, can't be there for a kid than, like, we have this whole thing of him being, like, a secret, like, I was making Sasuke sad on purpose by being a bad dad.
Yeah, no, this whole segment was just me talking completely out of my ass.
Okay.
Why is he going for the ass?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't even know if it's like I don't like the manga isn't like that really. I think it's just like kind of I don't know like a weird happenstance of
A weird happenstance of the like tree hopping posture and just like
uh-huh. And like okay, we need to like adapt this like this panel from the manga to like be the same like aspect ratio as the show. And we're just on like a tight schedule, and sometimes it just sort of looks up like he's got like a fucking like triple homing ass attack.
right, but they're all pointed directly at the ass.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it too much more. Like, it's just like
Yeah, okay. We're done.
I don't have a statement about this. It just distracted me when I was watching the episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Neji has like prevented Kidomaru from just like killing the other three guys. He's like, very much like guaranteed, like, yeah, this is my fight. And Kidomaru's kind of getting into it, right? Like, he's like, yeah, okay, I guess you're the strongest of all of those chumps. It'll be like a fun game for me to kill you. I'll like toy with you for like 3 minutes, and then I'll go and kill your friends. And we talked a little bit previously about some like some very ham-fisted visual metaphors.
Mm-hmm.
In this scene, when Kidomaru is talking about like wanting to like toy with Neji and then kill him, we have the camera zoom out and there's like a spider in a web like overlaid over him, and it's like, yeah, guys, we knew he was the spider guy. It's okay.
Like, it's not even a fucking metaphor. He's just the fucking spider guy.
He's just a fucking spider guy, right?
Yeah, he's got 8 limbs and shoots webs. He's the fucking spider guy.
He's the fucking spider guy. Man, like I talked a little bit about how like often in these episodes we get like a lot of like flashbacks that are just here. It's like, okay, yeah, like we're adapting like 2 pages of the comic, or not 2 pages. God, that'd be a fucking nightmare. We're adapting 2 chapters of the comic, and like sometimes like a lot of those chapters are just like, yeah, I don't know, Kidomaru is like shooting webs and Neji is like jumping around, and there's like not a ton of dialogue, so we need to like stretch it out where we can, right? And sometimes there's a situation where like you get like an entire page of Naruto that is just 3 identical panels of Kidomaru's chakra network.
Mm-hmm.
And then a close up of him making a gross face, and then Neji being shocked. And you just have to go like, okay, shit, what are we even doing about this? Because I look at this page of the manga that I've posted here,
Mm-hmm.
which again, 3 identical drawings of Kidomaru's chakra network, and I'm like, what information am I supposed to be taking away from this? And like in the anime, they like try to like sort of like they switch out they make it so like you see the chakra like flowing through that more and more intensely, but that is just not conveyed by this page of the manga at all.
It's really not.
No, so like it's like when we talk about this episode being kind of slow, like it is just the circumstances of making a show like this more than like, oh, I can't believe they do this, right? Like it's like sometimes like when I mean, like sometimes Masashi Kishimoto turns in like a weird fucking page that doesn't have much going on, and sometimes he turns in like a lot of like like fairly like well drawn like like Neji like dodging shit action where there's also not a lot of dialogue, and you just kind of have to fucking work with that. Which is why these episodes wind up being like I feel like these episodes wind up feeling like kind of thin, because there's just not a ton to work with. But anyway. Neji's just like, oh shit, he's like building up his chakra, and then Kidomaru like blasts him with webs a bunch, and Neji's like dodging for a while, and eventually he gets pinned to a tree. And like, Kidomaru's like, yeah, I know about you. I know about your gentle fist shit, and I know about how you use your fingers to like damage straight stuff that has chakra in it. So if I just fucking pin your if I just like pin your hands to your size, you can't do shit. And then Neji's like, actually it doesn't work like that. It breaks out and like fucking runs alongside a big spear that Kidomaru launched out of his mouth and still has coming out of his mouth to like punch him a bunch.
Yeah.
Huge misplay. You just gotta bite off the spear at some point. Like fucking like basically every Al Kidomaru takes in these episodes because he's got some shit in his mouth still that he doesn't have to have in his mouth.
Yeah. Like extremely true. Well, it feels safer.
Mm-hmm.
It's more comfy to have something to chew on.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, I don't know. It just break off the one that gives a boy like a bridge to run along to like hit you in the face. Maybe just make a new one.
No.
No. Okay. I'm not the chewing expert. I'm not the podcast chewing correspondent.
Am I the chewing correspondent now?
I don't know. Do you want to be?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, you don't have to be. Like it's not.
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
Fine. I'm the biting and chewing expert.
Okay, cool. I don't know. Sorry. We were all over the place. Do we have anything more to say about this episode?
No, no.
No. No. Okay.
Episode 116, 360 Degrees of Vision, the Byakugan's blind spot. Neji gets the fuck out of Kidomaru with the 64 palms, but he covered himself with the hard spider webs, and explains how the gross yellow stuff is immune to chakra. Kidomaru hides out in the trees and flings knives made of his spider metal from all directions. Neji blocks it with rotation, and throws a kunai at Kidomaru in hiding. Kidomaru admits Neji's pretty cool, and activates his curse mark before summoning a giant spider. The spider lays a huge egg sac, and a swarm of baby giant spiders rush at Neji, forcing him to use rotation again. Kidomaru waits for Neji to stop spinning, and throws a knife when his defenses are down.
Okay, yeah. So Neji's terrible curse is that he has the H trigram 64 palms, which is the technique to hit a guy with and end the fight instantly.
Yeah.
And because it is this, it means it can never ever work, even once.
So fucking sad.
Right? He beat Hinata, but he didn't bust that shit out then, did he? Right? Unless I'm forgetting something. He just hit her normally.
No, that would have fucking killed her.
Right. He maybe would have if they didn't fucking hold him off at the end there. But
yeah, she would have been bleeding out on the ground, and he would have stanced up.
It's another thing. I can do this shit. I bet you can't do this shit, fucking sad ass. Get out of here.
Someone prop her up. I'm not done yet.
God. Once she's standing, I'll be hitting her fast enough that she's not gonna fall down again until I'm done. Just you just need to get her on her feet.
Christ.
It's okay. He's a nicer guy now. He's not like that anymore.
Yeah, but it turns out fucking Kidomaru's special yellow gunk is super immune to chakra somehow.
Yeah, the white gunk, any chakra can it's not but it is not immune to Neji shit. But the yellow gunk,
yeah,
the yellow gunk is he'll get him.
We know that the white gunk specifically is super chakra conductive, right? Because that's how
it's got his chakra going through it, which makes it harder for people who can't disrupt that to cut it.
Yeah. So these materials are kind of amazing, and I am picking up after this fight.
Yeah, it's I feel like Orochimaru is far be it for me to tell the man how to conduct his business, but I don't know. It feels maybe a misapplication of this guy's abilities to send him out to fight all the time rather than have him just make cool weapons and shit for you.
Yeah,
because he seems to be able to just wing that shit into whatever shape he wants really fast on the fly.
Yeah, right. And I'm definitely getting some fucking armor plates
on top of your armor from the movies.
Well, no, because I'm it is integrating into my armor from the movies, right? Because I make my own shit. I didn't just steal a suit.
Okay.
I mean, I stole a core.
Mm-hmm.
And the technology involved, but I made my own suit, so I can swap out some plates. Yeah. So
Kidomaru is fine. He runs off into the trees and it's yeah, okay, I just have to hit him from every angle with knives and shit. And this is a beautiful expression of both the boys constant yeah, it's okay, I know how to beat this shit, and also we're Kidomaru's yeah, okay, I know how the gentle fist works. I've heard about this. I've heard tell about the fucking Hyuga clan, their shit that they can do. I just have to stay out of range and throw projectiles at him, right? Which means that at some point, somebody told him, yeah, okay, here is one of the things that the Hyuga clan can do, very notably, but not the other one. And we're just gonna send him in there because we think it would be funny. Orochimaru's yeah, I just want to know what he does if he runs into an actual Hyuga guy and just it only knows half of the shit. It'll be good for him.
Yeah, it will be good for him. I mean, he's a thing he is notably good at is just paying attention and picking up on shit.
No, yeah, I'm not faulting him here, right? He is very he shows a clear aptitude for picking up on the information. He learns a lot about how the Byakugan works very fast. It's just very funny that he doesn't know what he specifically calls yeah, I've heard about the gentle fist, which is something that only people with the Byakugan can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Neji spins all the knives away, throws a knife at him, and he's ah shit, okay.
It's shit, gotta bust out my gay little tattoo.
I think it's very fun that he like makes like a spider web platform to like slam his hands down on when he's summoning the big spider.
Yeah, it's cute. Also, I want to know about like giant spider culture. I
Uh-huh.
want to know about the big name giant spider guys that there are.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever the fuck he's from.
Yeah, it's unclear, right? It seems like this giant spider does not have like a lot of regard for like giant spider life, generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
because you know is very willing to just dump like a billion of these little shits into like a fucking boy blender. But maybe that shit's just cheap, you know. Maybe that's how the spiders do it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty obvious that that's how the spiders do it, right? It's just fucking.
I guess like if you're like a ninja spider and you have like technique that lets you like have like a million babies, you don't really care about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like one of the summons that talks or anything. Like so, it's unclear what exactly is going on there. We don't know the like spider culture, the spider lore or anything. But like it's something that was like contracted generally. So I assume there has to be like
some like intelligence there, right? Because like
yeah.
even just like the dogs that Kakashi has are like guys,
Yeah, right?
right? And the animals that we've seen like Akamaru that like aren't like intelligent, like weird, like magic talking ninja animals.
Mm-hmm.
They're like physically there,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of around all the time. They're not like summons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... Huh. I mean, I'm not going to interrogate this too deeply.
Fair.
Yeah, you know, basically, Kidomaru is going to be like, yeah, okay, Neji's going to like try and spin, but he's going to get fucking goop all over him. And that's going to make him spin slower.
Yeah.
I can hit him with a knife. And that's how half of the episode ends.
Mm-hmm.
You get to move on?
Neji lets out a burst of chakra to repel the knife last second. Neji is still getting rushed by spiders and knives. Rotation is too risky, so he uses 64 palms to swat everything out of the air. Still overwhelmed, he shifts his stance and uses 8 trigrams, 128 palms to fight the spiders. It's still not enough. He tries rotation, but the webs are in the way and he can't build momentum. A knife clips him in the shoulder. Kidomaru realizes there's a blind spot and immediately exploits it, nailing Neji in the back with a spider knife. Neji gets hit some more and remembers how much of a shithead he was to Lee, Hinata, and Naruto. The big spider drops and lands on him. He gets it with a gentle fist, but it was a trap to stab him more. Neji's still not down, so Kidomaru breaks out the second stage of his curse mark and makes a big bow and arrow out of his spider stuff.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Neji is like not the one to be like hit by somebody just like throwing a knife at him. He's got his fucking like, you know, even if he's not spinning, he just like shoots some fucking chakra out of his body and like blocks some shit. So Kidomaru is just like, okay, fine, I'll drop more fucking spiders at you. I'll drop knives at you. We'll just see what your fucking limit is at. And this is where he breaks out a new technique, which is like an anime original. The 8 trigrams, 128 palms is like not in the manga even a little bit. They were just like, okay, we need to be hitting spiders a lot.
It's just 64 palms twice, dude. You don't gotta come up with a new name for it.
God. They like really fucking like play it up, right? Like you know, he does the 8 trigrams, 64 palms, and there's like still more spiders, so like he like does it again, and he like you know, like I think it's like another circle that appears at the edge of the like usual one. And we get this like cut that is just hilarious to me of like him like fucking like whooshing around super fast. It's like fucking spider punching noises playing at very high speeds. It's very silly, right? Like it's just like, oh shit, he's like this is going to be happening for longer than the anime, so we need to like try and come up with something cool and like don't really do it, but they do come up with something more.
It is more.
It is definitionally more. You know, like eventually, Kidomaru's watching. He's like, "Oh shit, 128. That's like twice as many." But like, it doesn't really like factor into any of the rest of the fight. He just like starts throwing knives at him again, and like eventually he gets them. You know, he like started and like you know he like starts to like piece together like what the he continues to piece together like what's the Byakugan. Like he knows how far Neji can like text shit from. He like knows where like the blind spot is. He's like he's like honing in a little bit more. He's like being able to like hit Neji with knives more and more frequently. Which again, I think is like a cool thing that makes him seem like a credible threat to some extent, right? Where he's like, well, he is not just like picking up on the thing that like we already know about this ability, but he is like he's like learning the things that like they don't fucking say because it would be like a liability for like people to know that more broadly.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty fun. And then like you know, like having managed to get Neji in the back with like 4 knives, he's like, all right, this shit's over. He starts like gloating a lot more. Throughout these episodes, Kidomaru's like always talking about like treating things like a game. And like initially, I was just like, oh yeah, like I don't know, it's like a board game or something, right? throughout the scene, it became increasingly apparent to me, like, yeah, a lot of the terminology he uses is like very specifically like video game terminology. Like he calls like fucking Neji like a weak character that you eliminate to like clear the game, and like the specific like the specific uses like the English words like clear and game in these contexts like often refers like much more to like video games rather than like any more like traditional sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like he literally calls killing like a fucking 13-year-old before it's a kusoge, which is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Which got me curious. Is he? You watched the dub, right? Does that come through at all? Is he a gamer in the dub?
Like he still like has his like game talks, right? But like no, like I don't think so, right? Because it's like
Right, because like he's like specifically using like gamer slang.
no, like he's just like the weakest player always gets out first.
Okay.
Right, which
which is like, oh yeah, like which is different. Like, oh yeah, here's like the low tier character, like the weak character in an easy game that you like have to that it gets taken out right away when you clear it. Right, it's like
yeah, right. It sounded
like that like a character that you like defeat or whatever is like so much more like video gamey, right?
Right. It sounded like he was talking more about like dodgeball, right? Like
yeah, right. Like that's the sort of thing I thought initially too, but like like I just don't think like like that like. I know that by the time of Boruto, video games exist, right?
yeah, I guess.
But like, we don't like. I don't think we like see any of that here. Is the Sound Village just like way ahead of the fucking like curve of like developing video games? They have like gamers over there.
I guess the Sound Village just has gamers. Right, because they're the like fucked up tech guys, right? So like, there's got to be one sicko over there who like invented a video game. I guess.
I guess, right? But like, this is one of the things that was like really funny to me in this fight, where like, yeah, you talked about Neji, like, somebody about Neji, being like, remembering how mean he was to like Lee and Hinata and Naruto, right? I'm like, the specific thing that sets him off is like Kidomaru being like, yeah, like the weak character in a game is always like fated to die first, and then she's like, oh, I remember when I talked about fate and when I like declared the fate of those I thought were weaker than me. But like, this isn't like an ideological stance that Kidomaru is like setting forward. Really, he's just doing gamer trash talk.
Yeah,
and Neji is like really mad about it,
which
is beautiful.
Yeah, Neji's a fucking scrub.
Yeah,
God. The dub should have had him call Neji a scrub.
Oh my god, right? Like I know in some of like they probably just like avoided it because like when you are like making those specific calls to like gamer slang, it it just kind of like
fucking Kidomaru that says kek.
Oh no. It's just like, I'm gonna kill you here and then I'm gonna level up.
Right. No, I think it would be really fun if someone who like, knew what they were talking about a little bit for like the gamer slang or whatever, right? Like translated it. I think it could be really funny.
Yeah.
Fucking F's in chat.
God. Just say like GG as he like pulls back his big bow.
Right? God.
Yeah, like so, Neji's getting weakened. He like, and Kidomaru like drops the big spider on him, and like Neji punches it, but it explodes into webs that get him. I'm not sure if this is the spider dying or if it's like a spider substitution technique. Like it looks like it's getting all fucked up in the anime, right? Like it gets all like weirdly punched up. But like it could be like a misdirect. I hope the spider's fine. Yeah, I don't think it did anything to deserve dying here. It's just showing up and doing its job.
Mm-hmm.
But like Neji's all like dunked up more than ever, and like Kidomaru is like pulling back his big bow and doing his like extremely over the top bow firing pose.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like his feet are on the bow. He has two hands and his mouth on the string. And then the other four arms are like bracing himself with webs. It's so good. I love a fucked up bow pose. Like genuinely. Especially now that he's like second form and he's got like the horns and like the third eye and everything. It's like, ooh, so good.
So I have like a little bit of like background info to share about this pose actually. So when this chapter was initially published in Shonen Jump,
Yeah.
like that pose was not there, right? Like it was like a comparatively like more grounded thing where he had like a, he has like a really big bow, and he's like he's using like all of his arms to like create this posture of like bracing the arm that's like pulling it back as he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
And like Masashi Kishimoto's like twin, his twin brother, who's also a manga artist, like saw this as like, hey, get that weak shit out of here. You need to draw me like something way more freakish.
He was right.
Right, he was right. And so like fucking for like the volume releases, like Masashi Kishimoto like just completely redraws the entire fucking splash page. Way more sick.
Yeah, way more sick. God.
It's just beautiful.
God. Right, because that really sells the like power of the bow too, where he's just like, yeah, you need to put your fucking legs into it.
But it's just beautiful. Like you fucking like your fucking brother, who was like as I mentioned, like sees the Land Shaper thing, is like, hey, I know you can draw something fucking weirder than that. Come on.
Come the fuck on, dude.
Come on, man. You mean that guy do a fucking like weird Spider-Man and he's just standing there holding the bow mostly normal? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You could draw a man in any pose. You know that, right?
Did you forget about this? Like, I know the schedules are tight. I know that like sometimes you just gotta get the fucking thing out the door. But like, come on.
Come on.
Yeah, he fires his big arrow and the episode ends.
Yep.
Then we have a new ED.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about this? Because I have some shit to say about it.
Okay. Just go like saying like staff stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like the OPs and EDs we have like a collaboration between Toshiki Suru and Hirofumi Suzuki. This one is or like Suru is like directing and storyboarding it, and like Hirofumi Suzuki is like doing animation direction, right? Like that is just like the shape their collaboration takes most of the time. This one is just Hirofumi Suzuki directing and storyboarding and doing animation direction. It is like again like a lot of the ending sequences in like this first one of Naruto. It's like very like there is like a couple of running cycles of Naruto. There are like a handful of illustrations. They're like pretty nice looking.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most like the most impressive thing, but like it's fun enough. I think the song is pretty fun. I think it's got like a fairly nice concept. It's like, oh yeah, it's like a song about being like shy to like go and talk to somebody, but then like maybe you can go and talk to them and it'll be nice. And you get like a few illustrations of like, oh, here's like the first time that these characters are meeting or noticing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like because so much of the ED is just Naruto running and not getting anything, I feel like maybe the concept is like a little under executed on. But,
right.
I think it's pleasant enough. What do you have to say here?
This is the gayest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So to break it down, the song, like as you said, was like about like being nervous to like go and talk to someone and like being kind of like
but like finding it to be like really rewarding once you like take that step and like
right. Even though you're like apprehensive and like worried that like the feeling is not like reciprocated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Played against a bunch of like black and white illustrations of like a bunch of like different characters. Notably, it is Ino and Sakura, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it is I don't remember if this is the exact order because it's a list. Then it is Hinata looking at Naruto. Then it is Choji and Shikamaru. Then it is Naruto looking at Sakura. Then it is Naruto looking at Sasuke, and the final one, the one with Naruto and Sasuke, like slowly fades into being in color, right as the song ends on like an upbeat.
Yeah.
Literally the gayest shit ever.
Right. Like,
just like the content of the song and just like the way that like all of these are like framed with like this one character is like very obviously like according to the song that's playing, right, like the theme of the song is like, yeah, this person has like feelings for this other person and he wants to go and like talk to them and
yeah, like it'd be as many like or like as basically the whole of Naruto, like Naruto and Sasuke's relationship is framed as like perhaps the most important like dynamic in the whole thing.
Yeah, right, but like especially just like how like romantically tinged the song is, and also how like romantic in like content a lot of the other like images are. The like the like framing of like that with the like Ino and Sakura one, which just like fits the song perfectly if they knew that fucking Ino was a lesbian and was crushing on Sakura. And also the one with Choji was like really, really cute because it was Choji looking over at Shikamaru like that, right?
Yeah.
And then, it's, I don't know, like
Those two guys got something really sweet together.
yeah. And like we know that Shikamaru's gay. It's just the gayest shit in the world.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe not the gayest shit in the world. I mean, there's more gayer stuff, right?
But like
it's
in Naruto to date.
Yeah, it's the gayest shit in this episode of Naruto for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Not a lot of like tension between Neji and Kidomaru, I've got to say.
No.
Not a lot to work with there.
Kidomaru like draws his bow like fucking get wrecked. Oh God. Yeah, like literally
the fucking like the magical tension between a gamer and like a fucking 13-year-old who has like a near religious devotion to a 12-year-old.
Christ. No, but like like I saw this and I was just like listening to the song and like reading the lyrics and everything and just like seeing the pictures that were on there and I was just like, wow. This ED exists exactly as it is in like our version of Naruto where everyone is fucking gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. Like the song is really like it's really pleasant. I'm totally fine with carrying it over to our beautiful Naruto that we're definitely creating for real.
Yeah, I mean, like that's basically it. Just like the ED like frames the dynamic between Ino and Sakura and Shikamaru and Choji and Sasuke and Naruto as like more romantic than I think it intended to.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Keep it up.
Yeah, honestly, do that more. All right, you ready to move on?
Yeah, totally.
Episode 117. Losing is not an option. Neji avoids a fatal hit from the arrow in favor of having it bore a hole through his shoulder. Kidomaru compliments his ability to manipulate chakra to redirect it, and sends another arrow, attached by spider thread so he can guide it to stay in Neji's blind spot. Neji runs for it. He takes cover behind a tree, and the arrow punches a hole straight through the tree and past Neji's head.
Okay. So yeah, this first part of the episode is going to be like very like brief to talk about, right?
Yeah, it was like a shorter part of the episode, and also not much happened in it.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, so there like to like if you didn't watch it, like the first part of this is like 5 minutes long, and like the other part of course is like the rest of it. And then, like basically the reason it breaks down that way is that like the first of the 2 chapters that this episode adapts is like basically like 2 different like Neji death fakeouts. And they opt to like do the break on the first one because like the second one like carries forward some like momentum into like the rest of the fight happening, right? Like an ending. Mm-hmm. So like they kind of want to like keep that rhythm going a little bit better, right? But yeah, like, so a lot of this first part is just Kidomaru being like, okay, here's how I'm gonna get Neji, right? Like he's like fucking explaining at length that the information he's gained about the Byakugan and like how to hit him in his blind spot. There's like fucking like CG Neji diagrams where it's like
the funny little Neji 3D model is so funny.
It's so good. Because of Kidomaru's gamer ability, he's able to project a little CG Neji in his mind and calculate the angles of his blind spot as he runs.
Woohoo!
He spends a long time thinking about it, and then like basically fucking beefs his first shot because he's like, oh, I didn't consider the fact that Neji could like there were trees here that could like throw off a trajectory of my arrow, which is great.
Yeah,
got a little into the reason, like a very specific thing.
No, I mean that is already ahead of ourselves.
That is already ahead of ourselves, right? Because nothing fucking happens this half of the episode.
Yeah,
right. Like he fucking like shoots the arrow and then like it goes to the fucking tree and it's like, oh shit. Neji's like headband like falls off and onto the ground and like there's blood splattering and like it cuts out and there's like the fucking like thread of the arrow like going like past Neji's head, but like it's in shadow, so it's like, oh shit, is it going past his head or is it going through his head? And we just don't know. And then the fucking this part of the episode ends.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just move on.
Okay.
Neji used a tree to deflect it, just barely enough for it to miss his head. Kidomaru makes another arrow, this one shaped to go right through trees without going off course. Neji takes the hit, getting stabbed clean through the gut with the arrow, and uses the attached spider thread to send a wave of chakra straight into Kidomaru's skull. Neji's super hurt, but is inspired by Naruto to realize what drives him and keep fighting. He rushes Kidomaru down and gets his ass with a gentle fist. Neji remembers Naruto and his dad. And stuff, and Kidomaru taunts him about the fight being pointless, since Sasuke wants to go with the sound guys. But Neji says they have someone to change his mind. Kidomaru dies, and Neji collapses from his wounds.
Right, so yeah, like I said earlier, Kidomaru had failed to account for the fact that there were like trees around here because he was like so fucking like tunnel visioned in on Neji's blind spot. And he's like, okay, shit, I'm gonna make like a new super awesome arrow that can fucking go through trees now, I guess.
It looks like it's worse at going through trees, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's spinning it, so it's like a drill.
But like, drills don't work fast.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It'll work. There's a like bit of like visual weirdness that I want to talk about here, like with like how the anime like winds up like playing down a lot of like the injuries and stuff from the manga, right? Like when Neji gets hit by like an arrow in like the shoulder or whatever, in the manga he's just like a hole you can fucking see through, and in the anime it's just like toned down so much that like when we do see a wound, it's often like
just like a funny little red dot.
Yeah, it's like smaller than the arrow, or like sometimes like if it's like a close up, it winds up looking like he has a second layer of like fabric beneath his shirt that is like bleeding, and there's like, at least one shot where it looks like a weird misplaced nipple.
Yeah.
But you know, Neji is like standing there. He's like, ah, shit, I can't dodge these attacks. I gotta like fucking do something. I gotta like go and like win the fight now. I'm thinking about Naruto and how he believes in me. I think about how I believe in him and like how he thinks I'm a genius and everything. So I guess I have to stop losing.
And he does. Good job.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like you know, he like turns around and like takes Kidomaru's like next arrow head on. Like you know, just like turns around and gets hit by the way he knows he can survive. So he can like grab onto the string. There's like a specific cut I want call out when like the arrow is like going for him, and there's like this there's this like you know like very dated but like pretty cool looking like CG environment. The arrow is like flying through where it has like all these attempts to like play into like the lighting of the space in a way that, you know, it's just kind of neat. This is like a Hirofumi Suzuki cut. Like I think it's pretty neat. But anyway, you know, Neji like grabs onto the string, shoots a fucking beam of his chakra down it that like goes up and connects to Kidomaru and like knocks him out of a tree instantly. Because Kidomaru did not take the goddamn string out of his mouth.
He didn't take the fucking string out of his mouth.
The arrow stopped moving. You gotta fucking cut that shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kidomaru is just kind of like falling for a while as like Neji continues to like remember stuff and like think about like what he believes in, right? Before he like runs off and like goes and like punches him out.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you know Neji like having successfully defeated Kidomaru, he like goes on this thing about like, oh, you know, you said it was my fate to be defeated here by you, but you know I once thought that, you know, it was like I could picture that like everybody's fate and like could declare that for other people, but I know now, you know, because like, you know, somebody once told me that the strongest person I ever fought told me that like actually it's not like that, which is like beautiful to me because like this does not reflect something Kidomaru really believes. He was just like shit talking this guy constantly throughout this entire fight, and now he's like getting a lecture. I'm like, I don't even know if he remembers what specific thing that he's talking about here.
Yeah, his heart is just like slowly failing.
It's like, what are you what? I said so much shit to you, man. I don't even know which thing you're responding to.
That's okay, dude. Just let the kid have a fucking moment. You're dead anyway.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know on purpose, but like it just kind of makes Neji seem like really dorky in a way that's like kind of endearing.
Yeah. Like honestly, yeah, like totally.
Like it is just like fascinating how much this kid has like fucking dedicated to himself as like Naruto, as like the fucking coolest, best guy he's ever met, and the guy who can like fucking save everybody, right? Like, you know, obviously the arc of Naruto is about people like, you know, encountering Naruto and be like, oh shit, you know, I
wait, this is a boy I can believe in.
Yeah, right. But like, there's something about the like how far Neji takes it, where he's like,
yeah, like how serious about it he is, but like no, like
right,
no,
because like especially because we think about like again like a month ago this kid was like fucking equally serious about some different like fucking myopic teacher, and now he's like, no, I understand now.
Right, but like Naruto's just like a goofy like friendly kid who happened to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like the takeaway there is like, oh, maybe it's okay to just be like kind of like goofy and like friendly with people, right? And just like, I don't know, think positively about things and like really believe that like, you know, we can fight for stuff we believe in and like make the world a better place. But no, like, fucking Naruto is our Lord and Savior. I will not have you.
Yeah. Listen, Kidomaru, you're the strongest enemy that I've ever fought, but the strongest person that I ever fought, Naruto, told me this once. It's just,
It's like, okay,
it's unbelievable.
okay. Like, he doesn't know how not to be just like deathly serious about it, and it's so funny.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's like,
Right? Because like it is an improvement.
yeah, right.
But like,
He's got to mellow. He's got to mellow out a little bit.
yeah. Is there anything else to talk about?
No, I think we covered it basically, right? Like,
Yeah. Awesome. What are we watching next week?
okay, so next week we're watching episodes 118, 119, and 120 of Naruto.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you can't wait, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Konoha Crush, all one word, Konoha Crush. For just $3 a month, you get access to episodes up to a week early. And for a little bit more, you get our bonus show, Narukai Uzumaki. We'll be talking about that time I got reincarnated as a slime pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we're recording it like this weekend, which means that like we will have recorded it by the time everybody hears this, unless something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it'll...
like if you're listening to this on the Patreon, you know, it should be out in like a few days. If you're listening to this on the main feed, then like, hey, it's probably already there for you.
Yeah.
If you just go and give us like $5.
Yeah, just $5. Patreon.com/Konoha Crush. Also, speaking of our Patreon, I want to give a special thanks to our Jonin tier patrons, Maple, Izzy, featured Jinchuriki of the Six-Tailed Beast, and friend of the show, Rife. Check out their streams at twitch.tv/subspaceskater. All one word, Subspace Skater. God, speaking of Twitch, I stream on Twitch too.
Oh my god, you do.
I do. I stream over at twitch.tv/GuinevereTeef, GuinevereTeef, Guinevere Teef. There we, I stream a lot of stuff. I'm like kind of a generalist. I like, I draw a lot, do little art streams. I play video games sometimes. On Friday, Vale and I are working through Elden Ring, so, maybe check us out there. We're getting pretty close to the end of it, so, maybe check the VODs over on my YouTube. There's a link to that somewhere. It's Guinevere Teef, all the same. You can probably find it. But yeah. And, on Saturdays, we're still trying to do the, Armor Stir game with, the two of us here, obviously, and, Rife, and, my other girlfriend, Gray. And just it's a good time. Also, my friend Lena's there too, but it's.
I was gonna say you're not gonna fucking shout Lena out.
Shout out to Lena. Fucking twitch.tv/necromancelina.
We didn't need to shout out her Twitch or anything. I was just like, oh, you're not even gonna mention her in the fucking.
I know, but then I felt bad.
Okay, this is it's like a penance.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Do you have anything else we want to shout out or say?
No, not really. I'm good to fucking wrap up here.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening. And remember, there's no such thing as filler.